Thursday night is sports night for your boys. And I am Al, and that is Adrian, and that is Muscle Man Chris.
I feel happy. I feel so happy.
Why? Because that you fixed the intro video.
I told you it was going to get fixed. I'm a man of my word. I told you it was going to get done, and it got done.
You know, he did that all within the last hour, right, Chris? Like, he's like, oh, shit, I forgot to do the videos. He's like,
no. Not like I fell asleep and took a nap and forgot about everything. It was done last week.
Like I don't get up like 4 o'clock in the morning and then I gotta sit with your sorry asses at 7 o'clock and talk sports.
It is a privilege to be in our presence.
Yes. I'm at the gym at 4:30 in the morning every day, brother.
I mean, you can tell, right? You can tell. You see the way he's got veins on top.
He's got to show the guns. He's got to get the guns up.
Not gonna happen. Not live. Come on
now.
Not
live. He's shy.
Don't be shy.
Get a little closer.
So much to talk.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna type in the. I didn't have time to type in the topics, so I'm gonna let you guys talk on this one right here, man. LeBron reaches 40,000. Epic. Pretty cool. Took him a lot longer than some other people, but I'll let you guys talk about it. Adrian, go ahead. You go first while I type in these other topics.
I think it was like a long time coming. It did. I was surprised, like it wasn't sooner this season. But you got to look at how the Lakers have been struggling. They are not. They haven't been the team everybody says they are supposed to be for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah,
they have struggled. They are up and down. They're more inconsistent than my diet plan. It is bad. It is really bad. Like my blood sugar stays higher than their scoring average. So I just hope that they can, right the ship, fix what's going on. Congratulations to LeBron. I mean, it was bound to happen. He's been playing in the league for like 72 years now, so it's about
72 years?
Yeah, 72 years. It's been a long time. He started when he was 2. They drafted him straight out of elementary school. No, actually straight out of preschool. He was dunking in the little parking lot, had a little Fisher Price, and they were like, that kid's going to. So they had to pull him in.
Right. Chris, what do you think?
I mean, it's an accomplishment, 40,000 points. I mean, I don't see anybody ever even coming close to that record. I mean, they were talking about possibly Stephen Curry, who's like, 20-some thousand points away.
Yeah.
I mean, the things he's doing at his age,
if he would
play, but he's not playing every game, He's missing a lot of games. So you're talking about the games he missed. If he would play all those games, he'd be at 42, 45. In the past 5 years, he's missed a lot of games. But at that age, you don't expect to play every single game either. Michael Jordan didn't play all his games at late in his career either.
Yeah, but Jordan
an accomplishment, yeah. As for the Lakers, though, we did do pretty bad last year starting off, but we still made the conference finals, even though we got swept. Still made the conference finals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with this team, you never know.
A broken clock is right twice a day. That is what I remember. A broken clock is right twice a day.
All right. Let's keep it NBA for a minute, and let's talk about the Celtics, man. Best record in the NBA. Can they be stopped? And if so, who can stop them?
I don't want to say it's still too early,
Joe,
but it's still kind of too early. Like, you got to look when Denver hit their stride. It was later on in the season. They still had a pretty decent record. There are still teams out there that can probably take them out, but right now they're the hottest team in the NBA. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
They're smart with their rotation. They're playing smart basketball. They have a very, wouldn't you say, Chris? They got a very old school feel to this the way they're doing this year, the way they're operating?
Yeah, I mean, they're working around Porzingis. That was a big off-season pickup right there. That's the piece they were missing to win a championship.
Right, right. I mean, you got it. Harford was getting Al Harford was he was a little long in the tooth, right? So he didn't have that presence like he used to. You remember,
Right.
like 10 years ago, you mentioned Al Harford. It was like, okay, well, he was a dominant presence in the paint.
Right.
That faded. Porzingis, he believe it or not, Porzingis is not even 30 years old yet.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So,
Well, I mean, can anyone stop the Celtics? That's the question. Can anyone stop the Celtics? I don't think anybody in the East can, but there might be a couple teams in the West in the finals if they get to the finals.
Well,
right.
I mean, I think the Bucks can if the Bucks can decide to play defense because they have the offense. They got
Oh,
the
yeah.
offensive explosion to put
What
points on
about
the board.
Cleveland? Cleveland's all right.
Cleveland's an
Yeah.
okay team. It depends the matchup that they get.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, because like I think didn't the Hawks go from like the 8th seed to the conference finals one year? I mean, it's who you play against, and the seeding is going to determine how the Celtics play and how good they're going to be and possibly make the finals and pretty much play Denver. I
Yeah.
think that's a given, but
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard to pick anybody. Like, if I'm really like gun to my head, so to speak, teams that I think that could give them some issues. Of course, you got Phoenix, the super team. And I don't care what anybody says. That's the super team. Golden State when they're playing good, but Golden State gives anybody a headache. Golden State actually beat them, and then who did they just beat by 40? They just beat somebody by like 40 points. No, they got beat by 50.
yeah, the Celtics beat them by 50.
Yeah, I was about to say the Celtics just
Yeah.
beat somebody. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. Like, it's basketball. What's exciting about it is that anybody can win. Anybody can win at any point. Like, anybody can win. So I think right now, if you're looking in the West, Phoenix, Denver would be the two teams I would look out for.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. You got the Bucks would give them a hard time because they would be a matchup nightmare. They got both the Antetokounmpo, Bada Bing brothers playing on the same team. So, like,
You believe in the Clippers?
I believe in who?
Do you believe in the Clippers?
I'm sorry, you were going through a tunnel. Say that again.
Do you believe in the Clippers?
No, I don't use clippers. I got long hair now. So,
Yeah, when all the starters play, which doesn't seem very often.
What is the average age of that team? Like 70? Isn't they all in the Hall of Fame playing basketball? It's like what the Big Three league now. You got Kawhi Leonard, who's like what in his mid-40s. You got James Harden, who's 52. And Paul George, who he may look like he's early 30s, but he plays like he's in his 80s. So I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
What about Russell Westbrook?
Oh, sweet Jesus! I'm surprised he's still upright. What Russell? He is the oldest looking young person, and he's the youngest looking old person. Like, it was just a flip flop. Like, he did not change. He's got the Benjamin Button, but it's on pause. Like, he came in the league looking 25, and then like his facial hair has not grown the entire 20 years he's played. So that should tell you something.
All right, well, let's switch over to the NFL. And the Denver Broncos released Russell Wilson after 2 seasons. Some people and listen, I've been listening to a lot of the talk about it today. First, they're talking about should the Broncos have done this. Then the other part of the conversation is where does he go from here? And there are analysts that are supporting the Broncos decision, and then there are analysts that are knocking them for it. and then there's analysts that are saying certain teams that where he should be, where he should go, and then there's other analysts saying it's so the whole thing is a clusterfuck. My point is that we know about the $85 million hit, blah blah blah. We know about that stuff, but the bottom line is Russell Wilson's no longer a Bronco. Where does he land? Because he will play somewhere.
In his backyard, baby. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he'll be a backup somewhere.
He had the last, what? I think they said 5. He won 5 out of the last 8 games for Denver, including against Patrick Mahomes and Jared Allen's Bills. Like, he's not washed up. He's not the Russell Wilson that won Super Bowls, but if given the right weapons, you stick him on the Raiders, he gets Devontae Adams. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? You put him in Minnesota, he gets Jefferson. Like, where should he go?
New England.
Ooh.
Because Mac
do they
Jones
have wide
is not
receivers?
the answer. Mac Jones is not the answer.
I know that, but you don't want Russell Wilson on New England.
Yeah, but you're going to get him cheap. You give him a $2 million contract.
You personally, the Jets fan, doesn't want Russell Wilson twice a year.
No, we do not want Russell Wilson. We're not going to even draft a quarterback this year. We got Aaron Rodgers for at least the next 2 years. We're not even thinking about drafting a quarterback this year.
That would
He's
be
a
silly
one.
move. That would be a silly move. But I mean,
I don't see. I called this 2 years ago with this huge contract that
No,
he was
you were
going to
right.
be a bust. He had
You were
talent there. He had Cortland Sutton. He had Jerry Jeudy. He had this. He is a bust. The only reason he was any good in Seattle is because that defense was so
He had
good.
DK Metcalf.
Well, the defense was so good.
DK.
He had more possessions.
Before DK.
No.
Listen with the backup right. Oh my.
No, thank you. We don't want him.
You wait a minute.
All right,
You would keep.
I think he starts somewhere. No, everybody's talking about backup roles. I think he starts somewhere. I really do.
Where he gonna start? I mean, there's a couple of places he could start. He could.
Minnesota got rid of. Didn't Minnesota cut Kirk Cousins?
No.
Well, they got Dobbs there, but I don't know if they're re-signing Dobbs. So I mean, that could be.
Minnesota's a fit for me. Pittsburgh's a fit for me. Pittsburgh Steelers.
They still believe in Pickett. They still believe in Pickett there. So I don't.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Okay, what do you guys think about Atlanta? Atlanta.
Okay.
Well, that's where Justin Fields is going. They said Justin Fields is going to Atlanta.
No, I thought the Steelers are trying to trade the Bears a pick for Justin Fields.
Justin Fields' agent already was jumping, going nuts and everything, saying he's going to Atlanta. And
the Bears are dealing him. The Bears are definitely dealing him.
Caleb Williams will be the number 1 pick going to Chicago.
I think it's a mistake. I think they should stick with Justin Fields. I really do. You're basing that on they think Caleb Williams is better than Justin Fields. They don't know that yet. Stick him in the NFL and see what he does.
And actually give him people that block.
Yeah, and give him defenders that cover, and give him pass rushes that actually get to you.
Who in the NFL? I forgot. I was looking at it. They have $101 million cap space. I'm trying to remember who that was.
Washington. Was it Washington?
I don't think it was Washington. Someone else. But they have a huge. Was it New England? Might have been New England. They got a huge.
I know Washington has a lot of room.
Yeah,
yes.
Washington's got a lot.
Washington's gonna go signing crazy the next couple of days.
Maybe they'll get him. Somebody's gonna get him, and he's gonna start.
Right.
And he had in his last 8 games, he had something like 26 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
Right. So he has moments, but like that was when he was playing his style of football too.
He didn't have the kind of receivers in Denver that he had in Seattle.
No, but he made those receivers too. You got to get like he made those guys household names.
Okay.
Because he was kind of putting it where they can get it, and they had chemistry. Like the running backs, maybe.
I still think I still think he's got a year or two left in the league. Like some people think that about Rodgers. That Rodgers is washed up. I think that Rodgers has got at least 1 or 2 seasons left in him.
Yeah, Rogers
I
is
think
good.
Russell Wilson. I'm not saying Russell Wilson's as good as him. I'm saying he's got 1 or 2 seasons left in him. NFL seasons.
Right, right, and I can
Now,
see
I'd
that.
take a chance. I'd run him for a year. Why don't you run him for a year? If
Well,
I'm
you're
the
going to get him cheap.
Raiders,
Yeah,
if
you're
I'm the
going to get him
Raiders, if
cheap.
I'm Minnesota, yeah. If I'm the Raiders, if I'm Minnesota, if I'm who we talking about? Atlanta, Washington.
Well, yep.
These
Like,
teams, they need a quarterback right now.
you sign him for $1 million.
Yeah,
and
that's what they're thinking.
He's making $86 million. Like he's got the other coming from Denver. Like that's
Right.
okay.
Yeah,
Peanut.
Russell
I would take a chance.
Wilson is 1 yard in the Super Bowl passing from being a Hall of Fame quarterback because that would have gave him 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Right.
Well,
He would have been a
one
2-time
time. He
Super
could
Bowl
have had 2.
champion. No, I'm saying
could
he
have
would
had
have
2.
been.
Yes.
If he just
If that
ran
interception
the
or
ball.
if right. If they would have ran the ball right. Let's keep it NFL. So a lot of not a dry eye was to be had when Jason Kelce made it. Have you guys seen that speech?
Oh yeah. It was
Yeah.
short and sweet. I didn't cry.
I tell you, what a guy. Like, I often say all the time, and people ask me this all the time, who my favorite Eagle of all time was. My favorite Eagle of all time in my lifetime was B-Dog, hands down. Brian Dawkins was, because he was always the most fun to watch play. He was always so full of fire. When I would go to games live, like Brian Dawkins would crawl out in the smoke and the pyro, and he'd get the fans pumped up and he'd get the team pumped up. This guy, Jason Kelce, is a close second because I tell you, it's not often that you get an offensive lineman that not only plays at the level he plays, but also is a wonderful human being too, and then entertaining as fuck. The past couple years with the podcast, then he goes supports his brother in Kansas City for the Super Bowl. For the Bills game, he's out there partying with Bills Mafia, and he jumps out with his chest out, and that's a painting now on walls on the walls of Philadelphia, covering up graffiti. That's a painting, sticking his chest out like that, partying it up with Taylor Swift behind him and blah blah blah. But whatever. Jason Kelce's a wonderful man, deserves this retirement. It was a hard decision. Nobody wants to hang the boots up forever, no matter what sport you play. Nobody wants to hang it up forever. And Jason Kelce, it was a hard decision to make. But man, I watched that speech. I had tears in my eyes, guys. I'm not gonna lie. And then I listened to the podcast. They drop it every Wednesday. So the New Heights podcast drops every Wednesday. And he didn't cry. He's like, I got no more tears left. I'm not going to cry. So he started to talk about it. And then Travis started crying. Travis already was crying behind those big shades.
You could say it.
But it was good. So what do you guys think of the legacy of Jason Kelce?
I think he was one of the best centers in the NFL. And he
ever.
Well, I wouldn't say ever, but he was one of the best in the NFL. Definitely in my top 10. Guy he didn't take a play off. He busted his ass every play. And if you listen to what his teammates said about him, he was one of the most down to earth and, quite frankly, one of the most helpful guys there. So I love watching him play. And he will be missed on that team. So.
Oh, definitely.
I agree.
He's easily maybe not top 10, maybe top 20. I mean, his stat wise compared to the other centers in the game, but he was also drafted like 191st. He wasn't a first round draft pick. He wasn't a Nick Mangold or a Kevin Mawai. These guys that were drafted in the first round, even like this Humphrey kid from Kansas City drafted in the first round.
Right.
I mean, these guys are dominant. He was an okay center, but he was the heart of the team. He kept that team together. He kept the offense together. He had the respect of the offensive line. That's what made him Jason Kelce.
Yep.
So I respect that because he got the respect of his team.
Cool thing is that you don't even have to be an Eagle. You guys are not Eagles fans, and you respect him, and I think that
Oh my God.
speaks to his legacy. He will be. I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he'll go first ballot, but I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame. I also think he'll definitely be in the Eagles Ring of Honor
Yes,
down the road.
Yeah.
You got to pair in 3 Super Bowls. So 1-1.
All right, keeping it in Philly. The Phillies extend Zach Wheeler to a 3-year deal for $120 million. Is he worth it?
I mean, it's a lot of money going around in the Major League Baseball. I want to go play baseball. I want to want to get down to a deal like that because I mean I'm pretty sure that my stats would be somewhat similar.
You could be Big Poppy Jr., right? Like
Yeah,
you could clock
exactly. And I will hit the hell out of it into shortstop. Right in the shortstop. I will ground the hell
You
out
will
of
line
that
drive it. You will line drive it out of his ass.
I will be aiming at all the umpires. Like, you better watch out on that pitcher's mound because it's not going past you.
Right. Chris, is he worth it?
I don't think so. I mean,
No.
the amount of
Too old?
money that you're paying to one guy, how many good pitchers could you get in that rotation for that amount of money? You're talking $40 million a year for one guy. If he doesn't go 20-2 or 21-3 and have an ERA of less than 2, it's not worth it. Because you can get 2 or 3 quality pitchers that get you 10, 11 wins during the season for less than that. I mean, that's an obscene amount of money for a starting pitcher.
All right, so this is his 5th season in Philadelphia. He's been 4 seasons in Philadelphia. They also a few weeks ago signed Aaron Nola to a similar deal, 3 years for $100 million. Yeah.
Wow.
There's just too much money being spent out there. They got way too much money to spend on this
so
player.
they signed Aaron Nola for 3 years. They signed Zach Wheeler for 3 years. In the last 4 seasons, he went 11 and in 2020 he went 11-4 with a 2.92 ERA. 2021 he went 32-14. With I'm sorry, I read that wrong. He went 14-10. He went 14-10 with a 2.78 ERA. In 2022, he went 12-7 with a 2.8 ERA, and then last year he was 13-6. So on average, he's giving you 13 wins on average.
Numbers.
But
you
but
want,
what kind
I mean, out of an ace, you want what, 18 or 20, right, Chris?
Right, but innings per outing. How many innings is he giving you per? Is he giving you the 6 that you need or the 7 you need to get the bullpen in there to win you the game? You know,
What happened to the
innings
Phillies?
per
What happened to the
9.
Phillies at the end of the year? What happened to the Phillies at the end of the year last year was the bats went silent. The pitching was there. Wheeler was dealing. Nola was dealing. The bullpen was fine. Everybody was fine. It was the bats that went silent in the playoffs.
It was like the proverbial curse that you see in all sports. It's a contract year. So if it looks real good at the end of a contract year, and they're like, wow, this guy's really starting to come on, they're going to do what they can to pay him money. Like, look at how it goes in the NFL. You got a guy who balls out the last year of his contract because he wants to make sure that either he gets paid there or he gets paid somewhere else.
This is his 11th MLB season.
Right.
Oh.
But you're getting paid Jarrett Cole kind of money, and you're nowhere near what he is.
He's definitely the best pitcher on that staff.
It's not worth it.
He's definitely the best pitcher on the Philly staff.
Is he a top 5 pitcher in the NL?
No, I don't know. Top 10
how do
maybe.
You get $40 million. That's what I don't understand. $40 million a season. You're not even a top 5.
Right.
They just got way too much money to dish out. When I'm a believer because I watched what Florida did. I mean, it was a long time ago. Don't get me wrong, but they had the lowest salary in baseball and won the World Series.
Yeah.
And the teams that are playing, even like the Pirates last year, had a real low. They didn't do too bad. I
No,
mean, it's the role players and all these other players that are going to do it. That's why I still think the Dodgers using all this money for these star players and stuff. Some role playing team like the Rockies a few years ago are just going to show up
like the
and find a
Brewers.
way to win that.
Like
Well,
the
Johnny,
Brewers will be that. The Brewers will be that team that knocks the Dodgers out in the second round or something like that.
hey, don't knock San Francisco. San Francisco. Yeah.
I didn't say anything about San Francisco. Why are we
I'm
talking
saying
about San Francisco?
because that's a role playing team. They have a bunch of
Yeah, they're okay. All right, so Gabe Kapler. Before we talk about our last topic, this ain't our last topic, so I'll let you guys talk. Give me some March Madness, man. Like, talk about what we should expect. It's coming up in a couple weeks. It gets started. What should we expect? Who are those Cinderella teams this year that you guys think? And who do you think is going to be in the Final Four?
We got some surprise entrances. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
You got Stetson. And I pulled this up. Grambling. Grambling came out of nowhere. Now they're in the tournament.
How about McNeese State?
Yeah, McNeese. Oh, I got one for you. Norfolk State. Yeah. Where did they come from?
Norfolk State.
Norfolk State.
I love that.
Eastern Washington. You got Morehead State. Morehead State. When the hell have you ever heard of the college Morehead State? You know Morehead College, but Morehead State, really? Where did they come from? High Point. I feel like some of this, half of them was made up. The College of Charleston. It's not the university. It's the College of Charleston.
I was going to say the same thing.
They're a 14
in the field of 64. I think about 20 of them. I think in the field of 64, I think 20 of them are made up.
Samford, not Stanford.
Sanford, yeah.
Sanford and Son.
Yeah, Sanford and Son. Number 14, they're 13 seed. I was like, there's no way in hell. Grand Canyon.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon.
Is there like a college down at the bottom of the hill or what?
That's
have
like
no idea.
like the New Jersey Institute of Technology actually has a basketball team.
Exactly.
Okay.
McNeese.
Anybody
State
local
was
make
like-
it, Chris? Anybody local make it like in New Jersey?
There's no St. Peter's. Rutgers is probably going to make the NIT this year. They're
Okay.
decent, but not good enough. I mean, I don't see any lower tier Jersey teams making it. Like when St. Peter's won, 2 years ago?
Yeah. Right.
You know, it's oh, God. Sorry, dog's playing with me. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be another year of the upset, like last year. I mean, it killed my bracket because I had Kentucky win it all. Boom, out first round. Boom, Purdue out first round.
Yeah.
You know, I just think they haven't seen these teams that have all like McNeese State and Sanford and Grand Canyon. These are all senior guys on this team. They played together for 4 or 5 years, so they know how to play the game together.
That
So
is
going up
Princeton
against
can make it.
a top-notch team, it might be an upset in the making.
Yeah. So the first round gets going March 19th.
Here's a throwback for you. You ready? You ready for this one, Chris? This is a throwback. You should remember this because they made some noise. Seton Hall.
Seton Hall, yes, they've been doing good. They beat Villanova twice this year.
Yeah, they've been making some noise. They've been making.
Wait a minute, Seton Hall. Seton Hall's a Jersey team.
Yeah, Seton Hall's a Jersey team. Yeah.
Now the number one seeds, and there are 5 of them. There are 5 number one seeds. It is Purdue, UConn, Houston, and surprisingly, because they haven't been number one for a while, Tennessee. So, North Carolina, Iowa State, Marquette, Arizona, all number 2 seeds.
it could all change by who wins. Like if North Carolina beats Duke Saturday and then they win the ACC championship, they're number 1 seed.
Yep, they're number 1 seed. UConn finally
so-
won. They won the championship, so now they're a number 1 seed. Didn't they win their tournament? Like they won their. If I'm recalling correctly, they won their tournament, so they're a number 1 seed. They're locked in at a number 1 seed.
Well, they're locked in because they're number 1 overall. They still have to play the conference title, which you still have to play. You still have to play Creighton. You still got to play possibly a Marquette, which beat them already this year.
Yes.
So, but they're locked in as a number 1. Purdue's probably locked in as a number 1. I got Arizona locked in probably as a number 1.
I mean, they're number 2 right now, so yeah, Arizona.
Yeah, you got
Arizona's a good team.
Tennessee still got to play a tough SEC conference championship, so we don't know what's going to happen there.
They do. So,
all right, so yeah, that starts March the 19th. Can you guys, for the novice fan like myself, describe what is Selection Sunday?
it's kind of like what they do with the playoff selection. They take they put in the brackets and they just match up who's going to play who. They I'm trying to like say this correctly. You only go like by not necessarily by strength of schedule, but you have a conference by a conference schedule, if I'm not mistaken, right?
So is it like the final seeding and the final brackets, and do they? I mean, does it have anything to do with that?
It's a tournament style. It's a tournament style. So you got the highest seed playing the lowest seed, vice versa, and then eventually it just kind of breaks down to you get to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, then you get to the Final Four. The Final Four is when it all kind of boils down to the Final Four teams who are going to play for that. Like out of those 4 teams, you're going to have the teams that are going to play for the national championship. But once it gets down to the Sweet 16, it gets crazier because now these teams are going to play. They're fighting to get to the Sweet 16, and now they're really, really going to push once they get because it's right there. You got 3 more games to win, and you're a national champion. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like literally right there. So
who's going all the way?
I don't know. I like
my Tar Heels, and I also like Arizona. I don't think, even though UConn won it last year as a 6 seed, this and this, UConn, their schedule was weak this year. They played in a weak conference. I mean, if you were to put them in the ACC or even any other conference, I don't think they would have the win amount they have right now. They're a decent team, but here's the thing about the NCAA. When is the last time a number 1 seed has won it?
Exactly.
Normally it's a team that's coming in like UConn last year came in, I think, winning 14 straight games. They were on a roll coming in there.
They were on fire. They were hot as hell and was able to bust through.
So it's who's playing really good at the end of the year, playing in their conference. Like I'd say a team that is not favored to win their conference championship, but finds a way to win their conference championship. Like the Big 12, like an Iowa State or a Kansas, because they predict Houston to win that. So you just don't know. Whoever's hot coming in. I mean, at any given game, anybody can beat anybody. So it's that's why it's so exciting to watch. A Florida Gulf Coast could come in and beat Kansas. Yeah, it's just like the seeding is by how many top 50 wins you had, your conference win that you had. If you're a conference champion, like this year, there'll be at least 2 or 3 teams that might even have a losing record that win their conference and make it into the tournament.
And get in. Yep. It's like that every year. It's like that every year. You never know. That's why March Madness is so exciting. Like me and my dad used to constantly watch. Like we lived to watch March Madness because it was nuts. Like what Chris was saying, like teams I look at and that I would keep an eye on, teams like BYU. BYU can get high at any time. Kentucky can get high at any time. Marquette, Creighton, they can get hot at any time. Creighton, I don't know what it is with Creighton, but sometimes they don't play up to like lower teams. But when it comes to like the bigger teams, like the teams that like, they're playing Duke, Duke's gonna blow them out. It always goes down to the wire. So like those are teams I would look out for.
Yeah, like Marquette. I think Marquette beat UConn by 20.
Yeah. So I was just looking that up.
So-
Yeah. You never know. You never know, and that's why it's so fun to watch. It is extremely fun to watch. But
And it's so exciting to watch because there's literally 3-4 games on at one time, and you'll see everything on the top of the screen about scores changing and this. You might be watching one game, but you're actually watching like 4 or 5 because on the top of the screen you're seeing all the scores of the other games. So you're changing the channel to the closest game to see the game-winning shot or the game-winning three-pointer, right. And it's just like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's the end of the second half, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. Duke was down by 20. What? Hold on a second. Click over. Oh, Duke won that game. Go back. Wait, Marquette won that game. What? So, yeah. Your head's on the swivel. Constantly.
You don't know what you're missing now.
No, you don't.
I'm not saying I'm not going to watch any of it. I do watch it when it gets down to like the Elite Eight and the Final Four. Like I will pay attention to it, but these early round games I usually don't pay much attention to it. And then
they're the most exciting.
I know they're exciting because if you have this right,
the 2,
because you always have a bracket busting upset 16 seed beat somebody. It happens every damn year.
Yeah,
at least one.
Or a team that wasn't even in
and that makes it and that makes all the other games irrelevant. That's what bothers me. So you start the first round and the first weekend gets rolling, and then you get into the second weekend and there's that bracket busting 16 seed beat somebody, and then that's all they talk about. And how far can they go? And
you're also excited too because you picked that bracket thing on a bunch of different challenges. So you want these teams to win. And you're cheering for these teams because you're going to win money.
Well, I don't bet money. I don't bet on sports. I do not bet on sports. I never have bet on sports my entire life.
Okay, well, here's the thing. If you would go on NCAA.com and bet on this bracket, you could win $1 million.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah.
Why not do it?
Yeah.
It's free.
I don't know. It's free.
It is.
All you got to do is guess the right ones. I mean, a lot of times it's like when I bet football pools and stuff at work and stuff, it's the guy's wife who knows nothing about football
that wins the bet.
That wins the pool every week.
Yeah. It's unnerving. It is unnerving.
That's unbelievable. Okay.
It'll be crazy.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying it's going to be crazy. It is going to be crazy. And these brackets aren't set in stone yet. I think this is the last weekend that they're playing, or the last week that they're playing to set the brackets.
Well, this is the last game this week, and then they're the conference championships.
Yep.
And that'll determine who's getting in, who's seeding. It'll do all that.
Which, man, watch it be somebody like Quinnipiac, who's like a 16 seed. I know it sounds made up, but it's a real college, Quinnipiac.
Yeah, Quinnipiac. Yeah. They're a good hockey team.
So,
as long as Duke doesn't win.
Hey, no, you stop it. Stop it.
Okay. On July 20th in AT&T Stadium, Jerry World, Jake Paul will fight Mike Tyson. Let me give you some specs. This is Mike Tyson's first competitive fight in over 19 years, which was a TKO loss to Kevin McBride in June of 2005. He will be 58 when the fight takes place.
Right.
His all-time record is 56-6 with 44 knockouts. Jake Paul is 9-1 professionally with 6 knockouts. And is considerably younger than Mike Tyson.
Well, Tyson just fought Roy Jones Jr.
I would love
last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would
And that
love
was hard to
your
watch.
opinion. Why was it hard to watch? What, Logan Paul?
No, when Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr.
Because
Oh,
That was an
when
exhibition.
Tyson. But
it
that
was
was
an
an
exhibition.
exhibition, right?
This is an
Is this an
exhibition.
exhibition? Or this ain't an
Yeah.
exhibition to me. It sounds like it's real.
No, it's an
Like,
exhibition. They said it's an exhibition. I looked it up
okay,
earlier. I mean, all
okay.
Tyson needs to do is hit this guy one time with one of his shots. I mean, I seen him in training camp getting ready for this. They showed all this. He's still got the power.
Yeah.
But you're 58. I mean, you're going to be 58 coming in. I think it's more about the money and publicity because it's actually free. It's on Netflix, so it's not like a pay-per-view.
Paul's 27 years old, so he's 30 years. He's over 30 years younger.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I would love to see Jake get Tysoned like when we were kids in those 20-second fights. But see, AT&T Stadium holds so many. Like, I'm not saying they're going to pack it, but like, if they get like 50, 60,000 people in there, and Tyson knocks him out in 20 seconds, will they get their money's worth?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they'll be. I'm sure there'll be fights.
Everybody wants to see this guy get knocked out.
Yes.
Everybody. If this guy was really a boxer, he would actually fight a fighter. None of these
What if he
MMA
knocks out Mike
guys,
Tyson?
YouTube guys. I mean,
okay, so it's a lose-lose. It is a lose-lose for him. You beat a 60-year-old man. Congratulations. You got knocked out by a 60-year-old man. Congratulations. It's a lose-lose. Like there's no upside. Like when I saw this, when I heard it was a rumor way back when, and then now it's coming to fruition, I was like, this is nonsense. Like Chris said, the dudes fought basketball players, dudes who fought like MMA who got more brain damage than I do hair follicles. So I'm just saying, like, fight somebody real.
Yeah. I mean, even it's got to be about some kind of money because even like Tyreek Woodley said he had to take a dive, but he got a huge paycheck for it. Mm-hmm. So I let him knock me out, and I got paid more than I ever made in MMA for a fight.
Right.
Yeah, and Jake Paul's probably going to get that, and Mike's going to get a nice payday too, and it's gonna. I mean, a lot of people. And you're saying it's on Netflix. I mean, Netflix is jumping in head first to these live events that they took Monday Night Raw. Starting on in January 2025, it's going to be on Netflix. So Netflix is trying to get into live streaming versus just having movies and TV shows on there.
Yeah, they're tired of losing money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and boxing is let's face it, boxing has been dead. Like back in the day, like they used to have some wonderful fight, all different weight classes. Man, I remember Marvin Hagler versus like I remember when the heavyweight champion meant something. When Lennox Lewis and then Mike Tyson had it for a while, and then he got upset by James Buster Douglas. I remember that. I remember like actually paying pay-per-views to watch heavyweight bouts when they were
$49.99 to watch it 20 years ago.
People don't do that anymore. Nobody gave a damn about what was that guy that was the most recent champion at Tyson King, whatever the fuck his name was?
Tyson Fury.
Nobody gave a damn about him, really. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody bought his pay-per-views when he was champ, blah blah blah.
Yeah, they did.
More people buy UFC. More people buy UFC than boxing pay-per-views.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no boxing pay-per-view heavyweight championships anymore. I mean, there's
right.
There Sugar Ray Leonard pay for it.
That was the other guy I couldn't do.
Like Jake Paul.
Sugar Ray
Leonard. I have
Leonard.
never watched one of his fights. I see it on SportsCenter.
Pacquiao.
Roy
Jones Jr.
I'm not paying to
But
watch
no,
this
Jake,
YouTube guy fight. I watch it on Sports
you're
Center the
not
next day.
paying because it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
I'm
but some of the
watching
other ones were pay-per-views,
other
you
shit.
know?
I'm not watching. I'm not gonna watch Jake
You're
Paul
not
and
gonna
Mike.
watch this fight. You're telling me
Hell
right
no.
now you're not gonna watch it.
You
Come
know
on.
what? I'm gonna save up that time to watch the last Airbender. I'm gonna wait for all like the whole season. I'm gonna binge watch.
You're gonna watch the TikTok video of whoever gets knocked out.
Yeah, I see it the next day. It'd be the same level of excitement. Like, oh, okay, man, that last Airbender episode. Let me go back to that. Warriors is out on Netflix. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I watched the Roy Jones Jr. and Tyson one, and they were just like role playing the whole thing, like it was played
Yeah.
out.
You
You
could
know?
tell it was a payday thing.
But what was
Yeah.
funny, I will tell you this: what was funny was Roy was like, he hit me in the body, and I was like, ow.
That was July of 2020.
Oh, so it
Is
was
when that
40.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
years
It
ago.
was July of 2020. Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson.
Which,
But
come on.
his actual competitive boxing fight was a TKO by Kevin McBride in 2005.
Yeah.
Right. When he was heavily medicated? When he was medicated, Mike.
Well,
He might be
it's almost
medicated,
20
Mike,
years.
now. If you piss him off in that ring and you try doing something, he's going to knock you out.
He gonna murder
And
you.
that's why people are gonna watch, because Jake Paul is a fucking heel guy. Jake Paul's a guy that everybody loves to hate because he's a YouTuber. They don't take him seriously. They want to see his ass. They tune in to see his ass get kicked. And people like me who grew up on Mike Tyson, I want to see him kick this guy's ass.
I guarantee you, I can bet
So
you
I'll
my
watch.
left. I'll bet you
I'll watch
both testicles. There's no way in hell Jake Paul's gonna make this man mad. Even at 60. If you watch the training
July
videos
20.
and stuff, when you watch the training videos and stuff of what he looks like now, what he looked like going into that Roy Jones fight, and what he looks like now, he is still built the same. Yeah. He is still a fucking monster, but he's just an old monster.
I mean, he looks like this. Can you see that?
He's still in great shape.
Yeah, that's not fair. That is not fair. That dude, he is shorter than me and probably can toss my ass across this room.
I love it, man. I don't care. Like I hate Jake Paul, and so I want to see him get his ass kicked. So I'm gonna watch to see that happen. Exhibition or not, Tyson's gonna give him one good shot. Boom, down he goes. And the fans are gonna love it because they hate Jake Paul. And what does Jake Paul get out of it? He gets the money. He gets the build up on his YouTube channels. Him and Logan get the fucking party that they get to have video after video, viral after viral after viral, hyping up this fight. It's a big deal. It's an exhibition, but that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna make money from YouTube because they're gonna have all these viral videos on what he's gonna do to Mike Tyson, or are he talking smack, or is he gonna do training?
He's not gonna piss off Mike Tyson.
That's not the point.
I respect him.
He's gonna piss off the fan. It's easier to piss off the fans of Mike Tyson than it is to piss off Mike Tyson.
I would rather piss off the fans of Mike Tyson than piss off Mike Tyson himself. We could be playing slap boxing, and I'm like, he is one of the greatest fighters of all time. I respect him tremendously. I hope that we can have fun out here and nobody gets hurt.
I think it's going to be like a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown where they practice everything the night before, plan everything out. This is who's going to happen. I'm going to let you hit me here. I'm going to let you hit me here. And it's all going to be, a played out scenario. Yes.
If Tyson hits
it's going to be completely staged.
If he does what he did to Roy Jones, I believe it, because he did not take any headshots.
No.
Roy Jones.
How many rounds was the exhibition against Roy Jones?
I think 5 or 6.
5 or 6 rounds. Yeah.
I'm just
and he did.
I'm only asking because what are they doing? What are they doing here? Are they doing a 3-round exhibition, or are they doing what are they doing?
It said it was an exhibition. I don't know how many rounds. I just said it was.
Yeah, they didn't. Because I was looking that up. They don't have. There's no information on it really.
Exhibition. I think it's 3 to 9 between that number. be either 3 rounds or 9 rounds. But ain't no way in hell
3 to 9.
Yeah, it's that's a gamble. If you finna
I
fight Mike Tyson
mean,
for 9 rounds,
why Dallas? Like, why Dallas, Texas? Why?
really,
Why
really,
Jerry World?
really,
I want to know why. Yeah, really.
because it is.
Why
I hate.
isn't this in Vegas like any other fighter?
This makes my stomach hurt.
Atlantic City.
Because it is one of the most grandest stages to be on. They play national championships here.
Jerry World.
They home of America's it's like the biggest stage to play on, and I don't know. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he was like, AT&T Stadium is almost kind of becoming like the Taj Mahal, like it's becoming that big arena that everybody wants to just do stuff in. Like it's this magnificent, massive stage that everybody wants to, show out on. Like you had WrestleMania there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's where the money is.
Yeah.
It's almost like MetLife.
Exactly.
MetLife makes
in
more
Philly,
money off of
bud.
all the other sports rather than the Jets Giants games. But soccer and high schools, all this other sports that are played there make more money than the Jets and Giants combined.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they do. They have all these concerts, pay-per-view events, all this stuff. And Joe,
Right.
this guy is so rich, he don't even know what to do with his money. He's got
No.
so much money, it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
WrestleMania
Off of
40 is
one
at the
stadium.
link, and I'm happy about that because I'll be in the
Be there with your
building.
boys.
I'll be there in the building.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to WrestleMania 40.
I thought about it, and then I had something better to do that night.
Are you gonna?
All right, so like for the record, you guys are picking Mike Tyson to win this fight, yeah?
I
No.
think he might catch him. If he catches him, it's over.
I'm picking. I don't care. The Last Airbender is who I'm picking. That's what I'm watching.
Okay.
I'm watching The Last Airbender. I'm watching that shit.
Before we get out of here, is there anything else we didn't talk about you guys would like to talk about?
What is it? Is it going to be Roman Reigns and The
Sounds like
Rock
gold.
versus Seth Rollins
We
and
want to talk wrestling?
yeah? Is
No.
that going to be the day one event?
No.
As I understand it, the main event of night one is going to be The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. And the winner, if Cody and Seth win, then the bloodline is banned from ringside in night two with it's Cody versus Roman. So Seth then also has to wrestle Drew McIntyre in night two also. Yeah. So they're both pulling double duties night one and night two.
Well, that's going to be brutal because that match, that
Adrian,
first match on day one is going to be a long match. It's not going to be short.
I don't know. Adrian, what do you got to say? What do you got to say?
Why?
What?
Why?
Why what?
Why? It is unnecessary. That's what I'm saying. It's unnecessary. Why?
What is unnecessary? What is unnecessary? What are you talking about?
So they're really like changing the formula of how they've done the last couple of WrestleManias, which has worked really well because you have brand separation and you can let matches that need the attention get the attention. Now you're gonna have they're dominating the headlines with Roman Reigns, Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody. I think this is because Punk's hurt. In all honesty, I think because Punk
that's exactly why.
This is why they got to do it. So
you're 100% right. That's correct.
I told you it was gonna happen. Didn't I tell you he was gonna get hurt before he could do WrestleMania?
Yeah, but that's fine. But my point is that if he didn't get hurt, we would have got Punk versus Rollins, and we would have got, I don't know. I don't know how they would have worked The Rock in there.
Yeah, what do you think changed? Because it was a buildup of The Rock versus Reigns, and that's what they were going with, and then all of a sudden it just changed.
The fans for one, and then with Punk
The
being
fans,
officially out,
the fans revolted.
yeah, they threatened boycott because Cody Rhodes. They wanted to see Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, but the money move, and and I hate to say it, the money move would have been the head of the table thing, which I think they're still going to do, but not until next year. I think next year is when they have The Rock versus Roman for head of the table. Because right now, what's happening, and if you're watching the promos and stuff, you have Roman demanding The Rock acknowledge him. It's The Rock. And you see how he's not even doing this correctly. And if you saw the promo Monday where Seth was like, you have, oh, I'm sorry. And he did that. Like it's little signs and stuff that are indicating what's gonna happen. I think I think night one, and this is just my opinion, night one, The Rock is gonna turn because somebody predicted this, and I'm not gonna say who predicted it, but somebody predicted this, and I was like, I think you're 100% right about this. Rock's gonna turn on Roman, is gonna set the whole thing up for Cody to take the belt off of Roman Reigns, which is going to lead into next year, because then the fans can't have an issue with Roman versus The Rock. Because now it's like, oh, okay, well, Cody finished the story. Now, what's the other story? He's still going to come out blaming everything on The Rock. He's going to be calling out The Rock for the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
This time next year, you'll be setting Rock, Roman,
So I'm going to make a bold prediction for you right now. All right.
Lay it out.
The main event of night one of WrestleMania 41. That's next year.
Next year, yeah.
Is Cody versus CM Punk. The main event of night two. The main event of night two is Roman and The Rock.
I believe it. I believe it.
And you have a 1 year and you have a 1 year build. You have a 1 year build to both of those.
Well, yeah, because Roman said he wants to take a break anyway, and he's not a champion who defends all the time like Seth Rollins does. Right. He wants to break. Cody so if you're not the champion, you can take those long breaks and do whatever because you're not the champion, or you can be a Brock Lesnar and just show up to defend your title.
Cody needs. I'm sorry. Roman needs time off, and Seth needs healing time. So you know that Seth's losing his belt, whether or not Damian Priest cashes in or not, he's not walking out of Mania with the belt.
No.
So even if Seth beats Drew somehow, he's gonna leave him laying, and then Damian's gonna cash in, and Damian's gonna walk out with the title.
Absolutely.
That's my prediction there. And as far as Cody's gonna finish the story. That's gonna be, and Roman's gonna take. We're not gonna see Roman again till maybe Survivor Series,
right?
And we're not gonna see Seth till like SummerSlam.
So does Gunther still walk out the champion?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh. I think because he's going to lose because they're going to move him up and go for the title. Go for the World Wrestling Federation title.
Not yet. I don't think he's ready for that.
I think he's ready for it. I think he's ready for it. That's what they do. They take these intercontinental guys and they let them have a championship for a little while and then they move them up.
Who? Because they have a 6-pack challenge on Monday Night Raw, and it's like Sami Zayn, and it's Chad Gable and Ricochet, and the two of them are former Intercontinental champions. And I don't even know the 3 other guys. My point is like, who's going to beat him? Who have they built up to beat him? They haven't built up anybody to beat him.
They've been building up the Chad Gable match against him.
Okay.
And they've been fighting each other a lot lately.
Yeah.
So I can see
Okay,
that
so
title changing hands to move Gunther up to the next tier
I think
and
the
let him
fans will be
challenge for
okay
a
with that.
title.
I think the fans will be fine with that.
I mean, you haven't seen Sheamus. Where is he at?
AEW,
I
right?
mean, if it were me, I'd throw Braun Breaker in there.
Yeah.
I'd have Braun. I'd have Braun Breaker beat him for the Intercontinental title.
Well, he still needs some polishing too. So
That's an immediate push.
yeah, he still needs a lot of
You-
polish.
Yeah, but they're building him up to be like the next Brock
Right.
Lesnar type guy.
But you got Damian Priest. He could cash in on anything. He can cash in on any of these titles.
Mm-hmm.
He could be the next world champion or the other champion or an intercontinental champion. He gets a chance to cash in on any one of these.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get out of here, gentlemen. The hour's up.
Oh,
This has been Home Team Sports. I am Al. He
and
is Adrian. He is
Chris.
Tarzan.
Chris.
Tarzan. And we will see. And we'll see you next week.